Making headlines. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz visits Greenergy Data Center, GDC in Tallinn, and explored the sustainable digital innovations at the center as part of his ongoing visit to Estonia. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Khalil insists that the Maldives' position on international issues have not changed. And Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim says that this administration has given unprecedented importance to scientific research and studies.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiz Abdi Sattar. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz expresses relief following the announcement of a ceasefire agreement after 15 months of war in Gaza, Palestine. He also conveyed his appreciation to the countries that facilitated the accord. The Israeli offensive, which commenced on 7 October 2023, has inflicted severe hardships on Gaza, resulting in inhuman living conditions and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of residents. The majority of Gaza's 2.3 million inhabitants have been displaced, further exacerbating an already dire situation. In a social media post, President Dr. Muiz shared his relief over the ceasefire deal, stating that the Maldives expresses its profound appreciation to the countries that have facilitated the agreement. He urges the international community to ensure the continuation of the ceasefire, allowing the return home of those displaced and access to humanitarian assistance. The ceasefire agreement was reached with Qatar and Egypt acting as mediators between Israel and Hamas, which governs Gaza. Over the past 15 months, the Maldives has worked extensively with the international community, advocating for an end to Israeli aggression and the protection of Palestinian rights. President Dr. Muiz also used the opportunity to call on Israel to provide reparations to Palestine. He urged the international community to provide Palestine with the urgent support it needs to rebuild after the devastation caused by the Israeli aggression. In September 2024, President Dr. Muiz addressed the United Nations Security Council during a high-level, open debate on leadership for peace, united in respect of the UN Charter in search of a secure future. He highlighted the conditions facing the people of Palestine, especially in Gaza, citing that 36th UN Special Rapporteurs and experts referred to a genocide in the making in Gaza. He also noted that the International Court of Justice, ICJ, has found Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory illegal and that Israel must evacuate settlements and pay reparations to Palestinians. President Dr. Muiz further stressed that the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court had sought arrest warrants in relation to the war in Gaza and called on the UN Security Council members to support the process of justice and not to do anything to undermine it. He also urged the continuation of the rule of law and called on the UN to grant a permanent membership to Palestine. Despite the announcement of a ceasefire, the Israeli military has intensified attacks on the Gaza Strip, reportedly killing at least 40 Palestinians. Israel's war in Gaza has killed at least 46,707 Palestinians and wounded 110,265 since 7 October 2023. Palestinians in Gaza are celebrating after mediators confirmed the ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel, which is set to take effect on Sunday, 19th January. The truce aims to end a devastating period of conflict and offers a glimmer of hope for a more stable and peaceful future for the people of Gaza. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz visits Greenergy Data Centers GDC in Tallinn and explores the sustainable digital innovation at the center as part of his ongoing visit to Estonia. Upon arrival, the President was welcomed by Chief Executive Officer and Chief Development Officer Kurt Evert, along with Chief Technology Officer Thomas Kell. The president was then given a presentation about the center by the founder of GDC, Ular Jaksu. During the presentation, Jaksu highlighted that the aim of the center is to provide an advisory role to co-create a digital future with its partners where everyone is connected through digitalization. Following this, the president received a tour of the facilities and was briefed on its energy-efficient operations and storing data. Established in 2020, GDC is the largest data center in the Baltic region. The facility employs advanced AI-driven security systems and surveillance. With a strong focus on sustainability, the center utilizes renewable energy and implements waste heat recycling for optimal energy efficiency. It supports sustainable digital transformation in the region and with the goal of connecting islands through digitalization, which are reliable, efficient, sustainable, and customer-focused. The president is currently on an official visit to Estonia at the invitation of a President of the Republic of Estonia, Dr. Alar Karis. He is accompanied by a high-level delegation. President Dr. Muiz highlighted the Maldives of Floating City project at a luncheon hosted by Irmak Klaas, Mayor of Tartu, during his official visit to Estonia. The project garnered keen interest from Estonian officials, while discussions also explored Estonia's cultural heritage and demographic challenges. The luncheon was also attended by the Rector of the University of Tartu, Dr. Tuomas Asar, and Kertu Saks, Director of the Estonian National Museum, Professor Lili Milani, Head of the Estonian Biobank, and other Tartu senior government officials. The luncheon provided an avenue for friendly discussions aimed at strengthening bilateral relations, fostering collaboration, and sharing insights about the Maldivian and Estonian societies. During the luncheon, the Mayor of Tartu and other officials expressed a keen interest in the Maldives Floating City project. President Dr. Muiz elaborated on the initiative, detailing its sustainable design, the benefits it offers to Maldivians, and its potential as a model for climate-resilient urban development. The discussions also touched on Estonia's culture, including its rich history, iconic landmarks, population dynamics, and the challenges posed by an aging population. The president also highlighted areas where the Maldives seeks Estonia's support, particularly in Estonia's expertise in e-governance and digital innovation, to enhance public services, education, and renewable energy to realize the national development goals. Parliament has forwarded the names of 4 cabinet ministers to the Government Oversight Committee for review following President Dr. Mohamed Muiz's recent decision to implement a cabinet reshuffle. The nominations were submitted to the Government Oversight Committee during an extraordinary parliamentary session held on Thursday. President Dr. Muiz formally proposed the names of the 4 cabinet ministers for parliamentary consideration. The cabinet reshuffle had been executed on 26th December. The nominated ministers are as follows: Minister of Finance and Planning, Musa Zamir; Minister of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development, Dr. Ali Haidar Ahmad; Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare, Dr. Mariam Maria; and Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib. In conjunction with the cabinet reshuffle, President Dr. Muiz has also restructured the responsibilities of several ministries. According to the President's office, the newly reorganized Ministry of Finance and Planning will now oversee land utilization, urban development, national development planning and statistics, duties that were previously managed by the Ministry of Housing, Land and Urban Development. President Dr. Muiz also dissolved the Ministry of Housing, Land and Urban Development. In its place, the Ministry of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure has been established, replacing the former Ministry of Construction and Infrastructure. This newly formed ministry will now be responsible for executing social housing projects and formulating housing policies, including those related to social housing.
Parliament formally endorses the appointments of Mohammad Zahid and Abdul Rahman Salah Rashid as members of the Elections Commission of the Maldives (ECM). This endorsement was made during an extraordinary parliamentary sitting held on Thursday.
President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu submitted the names of Mohammad Zahid and Abdurrahman Salah Rashid for parliamentary consideration on 12th December. The Committee on Independent Institutions subsequently reviewed the nominations. During the presentation of the committee report to the parliament floor, it was revealed that both Mohammad Zahid and Abdurrahman Salah Rashid had achieved scores exceeding 75% in their interviews. Consequently, the chairperson of the committee, MP for Maafushi Hussein Riza Adam, announced that the committee members had unanimously agreed to forward the names of the two nominees to the parliament floor for voting. At the extraordinary sitting, both Zahid and Rashid received parliamentary endorsement with the votes of 68 lawmakers. Mohammad Zahid has previously served as a member and vice president of the Human Rights Commission of the Maldives, HRCM. Abdurrahman Salah Rashid formerly held the role of director and acting secretary general within the ECM. Additionally, he served as the responsible officer at the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu submitted the nomination of Zahid and Rashid following the Parliament's decision to remove former EC Vice Chairperson Alina Shah and former EC member Mohammad Asif from their positions.
The Parliament forwards the nominations of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu to the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) to the Parliamentary Independent Institutions Committee. President Muizzu has nominated Ahmed Nasheed and Asia Azima and sent the nominations for Parliament approval. The nominations were forwarded for review to the Independent Institutions Committee during an extraordinary parliamentary session held on Thursday. Ahmed Nasheed is currently a member of the Police Board, while Asia Azima has served as the Vice President of the Maldives National Chamber of Commerce and Industry (MNCCI). The two membership positions at the ACC were vacated after ACC Vice President Abdul Salam and member Toha Muhammad had resigned amid serious allegations of corruption and abuse of power. Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Halil insists that the Maldives' positions on international issues have not changed. The minister's comments came in response to rumors rife on social media that Maldives has changed its position in favor of Ukraine in its ongoing war with Russia. Minister Halil, in a post on X, said the island nation's position has not changed, which is evident from its voting patterns at the United Nations (UN). He said that the Maldives has always taken a principled stance on issues related to the independence, sovereignty and international integrity of all countries in line with the UN Charter. The minister also insisted that Maldives' balanced foreign policy is rooted in close and friendly relations with all countries to protect Maldives' sovereignty and independence for the benefit of the Maldivian people. Maldives, throughout its diplomatic history, has largely maintained a neutral stand on bilateral disputes except for the Palestinian cause. The small island nation remains one of the strongest advocates for the establishment of an independent and sovereign state of Palestine on the international arena. Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim says that this administration has given unprecedented importance to scientific research and studies. The minister made these remarks at the launching of Maldives Health Research Bulletin Volume 10.
Speaking at the ceremony, Nazim said research transcends just scientific purpose but remains pivotal to the empowerment and development of the society as it identifies the issues plaguing society and shows the path the country must take for a better future. Minister Nazim said it is the most responsible way to take actions or make important decisions in the light of research, especially in healthcare, as it involves matters of life and death. He also stressed on the importance of health professionals and researchers to publish their findings and make them publicly available. However, the minister also noted the pressing needs to develop the field of scientific research in the country. He said that he wished to see more health-related research to be conducted in the future, and the Ministry of Health will do everything to assist such efforts. He added that he wants to establish a platform within the ministry to present and discuss such research papers. The main purpose of the publishing the Maldives Health Research Bulletin is to provide easy access to the findings of research related to health sector in the country. This year, bulletin includes 7 abstracts of health studies conducted in the Maldives. This includes information on maternal and child health, communicable disease control, mental health, and environmental sustainability and public health. In addition, the bulletin includes information related to the National Health Research Council, health research approval processes, and the top priority areas for health research in the Maldives for 2022 to 2025.
The European Commission digital chief says that EU will fully enforce its rules governing social media and other large online platforms and has not delayed any cases against US big tech.
There haven't been any delays, Commission Vice President Hanna Virkkunen told reporters, referring to the Digital Markets Act DMA, which imposes antitrust obligations, and the Digital Services Act DSA, which covers content moderation.
We are enforcing and implementing the regulations DSA and DMA. Also, we are not there haven't been any delays, because I saw that it was reported that it has been slowly or delayed something, but we have the investigations going on, as we know, under DMA and DSA, and both are still on technical phase.
Virkkunen said she had seen reports that the EU was delaying investigations, such as into Apple, Meta and Google, but said the probes were still in a technical phase, which includes exchanges with companies before decisions could be taken. Virkkunen said the two acts were very powerful tools applying to all companies, including European companies operating services in the European Union, to ensure a fair and safe online environment for all.
People in Han Yunis were breathing a glimpse of fresh air on Thursday, one day after a ceasefire and hostage release deal was announced. A sense of joy was spreading over the southern Gaza city on the backdrop of gloomy streets filled with rubble. But some Palestinians like Fadel al-Bassiouni said people should still be cautious in the coming days.
Israel intensified strikes on Gaza hours after the deal was announced, residents and authorities in the Palestinian enclave said, as mediators sought to quell fighting ahead of the truce's start on Sunday. The complex ceasefire accord between Israel and militant group Hamas, which controls Gaza, emerged on Wednesday after months of mediation by Qatar, Egypt and the US, and 15 months of bloodshed that devastated the coastal territory and inflamed the Middle East. The deal outlines a 6-week initial ceasefire with the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip, where tens of thousands have been killed. Hostages taken by Hamas would be freed in exchange for Palestinian prisoners detained by Israel. On Thursday, Gaza militants fired a rocket into Israel, the Israeli military said, causing no casualties. Israeli airstrikes continued throughout the night and early on Thursday, killing at least 46 Palestinians, according to Gaza health officials.
Iga Swiatek charged into the third round of the Australian Open on a bright and sunny Thursday before fellow Grand Slam winner Emma Raducanu booked an intriguing encounter against the second seed with a convincing victory.
It was the end of the road for Swiatek's Polish patriot Hubert Hurkacz, following as the 18th seed went down in straight sets to Serbia's Miomir Kecmanovic, while Ons Jabeur advanced despite an apparent medical issue. A day after intermittent rain dampened fans' spirits at Melbourne Park, 5 times Grand Slam champion Swiatek shot out of the blocks on a Sunbath Rod Laver Arena to crush Rebecca Sramkova 6-0, 6-2. The 2022 Australian Open semi-finalist ran Slovak Sramkova edged in the early exchanges to build a 5-0 lead in a little over 20 minutes and took the opening set comfortably with her third break after losing only 10 points. Sramkova drew loud cheers from the crowd when she got on the board with a couple of easy holds in the second set. Although she avoided the ignominy of a double bagel, there was only more frustrations in store as Swiatek moved up a gear. The pole broke for a 4-2 lead when Sramkova sent a backhand into the net before wrapping up the match in style to set up a meeting with fellow former US Open champion Emma Raducanu. Raducanu, who has struggled with a string of injuries since her 2021 New York triumph, required an off-court medical timeout for an apparent left hip issue in the second set against Amanda Anisimova before seeing off the American 6-3, 7-5. Tunisia's Jabeur, on the mission to become the first African and Arab woman to win a major, moved past Camila Osorio 7-5, 6-3, but was in tears during a medical timeout as she kept touching her chest area and coughing. Hurkacz was another who needed attention as he struggled with blisters on his left foot before falling 6-4, 6-4, 6-2 to Kecmanovic, leaving a big group of Polish fans on John Cain Arena disappointed.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.